Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear students, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to all in my virtual class. I am Shahjalal Ahmed Pial, lecturer in Finance and Banking, Milestone College, Uttara. I hope all are fine and well by the grace of Almighty Allah. Dear students, let's start the class.
Measuring of risk and return, lecture number 9. This lecture we have to learn how to calculate coefficient of variance or CV methods. Dear students, let's start. Coefficient of variation or variance. The coefficient of variation or variance is an important in investment selection. From a financial perspective, the financial metric represents the risk to reward ratio, where the volatility shows the risk of an investment and the mean indicates the reward of an investment. Generally, an investor seeks a security with a lower coefficient of variation because it provides the most optimal risk to reward ratio with low volatility but high returns. However, the low coefficient is not favorable when the average expected return is below zero. Dear students, by using coefficient of variance, we have to difference or we have to compare with a risk and a return. The formula of coefficient of variance equals to sigma divided by R bar. That means standard deviation divided by expected rate of return. This is the problem number 7, and using this problem we have to calculate the coefficient of variance. Corona Manufacturing has isolated 3 alternatives for meeting a need for increased production capacity. The summarized in the following table. Alternative A, expected return 20% and standard deviation 7%. Alternative B, expected return or R bar 20% and standard deviation 9.5%. And alternative C, expected return or R bar 19% and standard deviation or sigma 6%. The determinant of CV of all alternatives. Alternative A, CV equals sigma divided by R bar. Here, alternative A, sigma is 7%. That means standard deviation is 7% divided by R bar 20%. It will be 0.35 or 35%. Alternative B, CV equal standard deviation divided by R bar. Here, alternative B, standard deviation is 9.5% divided by R bar 22%. And calculation, we find out the value 0.4318. That means 43.18%. And alternative C, CV equal standard deviation divided by R bar. From alternative C, standard deviation is 6% and R bar is 19%. So from the calculation we find out the value 0.31578, that means 31.58%. From three alternatives, an investor choose the alternative C because it is the lowest CB of others alternative. Lowest CB means the lower risk and higher CB means the higher risk. So everybody, I hope all are understood how to calculate CB when standard deviation and R bar is given. But sometimes you find out standard deviation and R bar are not given. Then you will first calculate expected return and then you will calculate standard deviation and finally you will calculate to covariance of coefficient or CV. Dear students, thanks to stay with me. Dear students, we will discuss another problem number 7, when the standard deviation and expected return are not given in the questions. This is a questions year 10, year 2010 return minus 10%, 2011 return 18.5%, 2012 return 38.67%, 2013 14.33% and 2014 33%. First, we compute the mean or expected return. Second, we compute the standard deviation. Third, we compute the coefficient of variance. So, and last we compute the variance. We also learned the previous lecture. First, we compute the expected rate of return. R1 minus 10, R2 18.5, R3 38.67 and R4 14.33 plus R5 33 and divided by 5, and we find the value of expected return 18.9%. Now we calculate the standard deviation. Secondly, we have to determine the standard deviation. Standard deviation equal root over R1 minus R bar whole square plus R2 minus R bar whole square plus R3 minus R bar whole square plus R4 minus R bar whole square plus R5 minus R bar whole square divided by n minus 1. From the questions, R1 equals to minus 10% minus R bar equal 18.9 whole square plus R2 equal 18.5% minus R bar equal 18.9% whole square plus R3 equal 38.67% minus R bar equal 18.9% whole square plus R4 equal 14.33% minus R bar 18.9% whole square plus R5 33% minus R bar 18.9% whole square divided by 5 minus 1, and we calculate and find out the standard deviation is 19.01%. Now we calculate coefficient of variance. The formula of coefficient of variance, or CV, sigma, or standard deviation, divided by expected return. Standard deviation is 19.01 and expected return 18.9. Then CV will be 1.0058 or 100.58%. And variance also calculate. Variance equals sigma square. Here sigma equal 19.09, sigma equal 19.01 square equals to 361.38%. So dear students, now I hope all are understood how to calculate CV, or coefficient of variance. Thanks and goodbye.